People good so far? Now we're going to do, you've seen this exact example before. Remember when we were doing Turing machines, and we were the input was, I think this is the one. Maybe this is we're not quite there yet, right? So it says, if it has a finite number of strings, you can compute it. So we did the example of where you have you're trying to solve the halting problem, but the input is bounded to be 1,000,000 characters, right? Then we solve the problem. And so these are slides copied directly from the Turing machine section. In fact, actually, that's a lie. I made them for the DFA section, and then I copied them over to the Turing machine. And so they traveled the other direction. All right? So here you're leaping in the middle, and what you're remembering is everything that you've read so far. Right? So if you've read 100 so far, that's what you're remembering. Right? So what state are you in? Right? You're in the state that remembers that. Right? And that dot there is a period at the end of the sentence. Don't get frightened by the dot. Right? And what does our loop invariant say? Well, if I'm in this string, if I'm in this state, that means I've seen 100. I read the 1. Then the state, what I've read is 1001. Right? And so the state I should go in is Q1001. Everybody remembering this? So this is exactly what we did for the Turing machine. Right? If I'm in this state, I get a 0, I go up to this state. I'm in this state, I get a 1, I go to this state. Everybody buy this? Right? Now, so why could we do this with the Turing machine? Because the head is only moving right. Right? So now what happens if you're only allowed 6 characters and you're in this state and you get another character? What state do you go into? Right? Now we go into the dead state. Right? And there you will cycle. And how do we compute? Right? Before we had, right? We don't get a blank now. Before we got a blank. Right? Now we just know that it's over. And so you transition into a state with table lookup. Right? So here, some of these states will accept and some won't accept. Right? If the string 0, 1 is supposed to accept, then it's an accepting state. Right? But the string 0, 1, 1 is a reject, so it's not an accepting state. Right? People follow this? Yeah? Yeah? All right. Now, so that's, what does that prove to you? That proves any language that has a finite number of yeses, right, we can do this way. Of course, you don't need all of those states, right? So here's another DFA that I just tried to said, well, we didn't need to build the whole tree. We can collapse it down somehow, right? So if you worked it out, this DFA will say yes to those strings. All right.